Hey, welcome back to the Thrift Shop. Today we're going to talk about the Singxer SA-1 headphone amplifier. Hey, so welcome back to the Thrift Shop. Today we have a beauty here, Singxer SA-1, supplied by APOS Audio, and all thoughts and opinions are mine, not told to say anything otherwise. So yeah, and there'll be some links down the bottom. If you are thinking about buying anything from APOS, great company. Love to keep them in business. So, forget your Amazons, go to APOS, support them, and links down below. Helps out the channel, affiliate link, all the stuff, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, yeah. So, class 1 headphone amplifier. We have on the front, we have your off pre amplifier, if you just want to use this without the headphone amplifier, and full headphone amplifier. You have XLR or RCA inputs, which are nice, and you have a high Z, low Z, not common. So if you're using a low impedance planar, then you would use low Z, or IEMs, then low Z is going to be what you want to use. Most people say just keep it on low Z, although it doesn't always work because you can get a little bit too much treble. So you'll hear it treble if you're using some higher impedance headphones, and I'll talk about some of those. So we have 3 headphone connections, 4.4 Pentagon, 1/4 inch or 6.35, and XLR balanced. And nice knob, nice feel, nothing special. It's a little bit small. Wish there were a little more meat on it, but overall, not much to complain about. Bottom side, yeah, we don't normally talk about the bottom side. So here, we have our gain switches. If you're running IEMs, you don't put this on low, run low Z. Otherwise, pretty much everything else, just keep this on high. And yeah, it works. Kind of unusual, but it is how they do it. The transistors I'll put right here, located right here. So it's a very short path. Let's see, you have XLR and RCA inputs. Also for the preamp output, you have XLR and RCA, and your on-off switch. IEC in, it's good. You don't have a separate switching power block sitting somewhere else, because you've got 20 or 30 of them sitting behind your desk at any time. So switch mode power supplies, that is. So yeah, I'm gonna put this down here, and we're going to talk about some headphone pairings. Let's talk about specs first. Yeah, good idea. So this thing puts out 6.4 watts at 32 ohms, 2 watts at 120 ohms, and 380 milliwatts at 600 ohms. So, this little guy is pretty powerful. I think the Jotunheim is like 4.4 at 32, if I got my numbers correct. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. It weighs about 3.9 pounds. It's obviously black. It doesn't come in any other color, which I think is a real shame. But the notable thing about this is that it measures extremely, extremely well. THD is 0.00078 on balanced, and 0.00128 on the balanced input. So yeah, it's pretty clean as far as the amplifiers go. And recall the whole THX thing, I didn't like. I thought they felt thin, lean, overly analytical. To me, it sounded like THX amps that are super clean sounded like they were not using a preamp. There was just no body to the music. This, you're getting the cleanliness of a THX amp with a body, the body of class A-ish. I'm gonna call a little bit of a, it's class AB. It doesn't get anywhere near as hot. You would need a much larger case for this. It gets about the same warmth as a Jotunheim. You can see the air vents there, but it doesn't get really hot. I've left this on overnight. Compared to some real class A stuff, you would burn down your house. So yeah, it is class, even though they say class A, it's class AB. But yeah, so let's talk about some headphone pairings with this. So I've been using this a lot. I've been talking about this recent video, go find it, the Fiio FT3 350 ohm 60 millimeter dynamic driver that I've fallen in love with. Very reference sound, analytical sound. Doesn't have a lot of you can feel the bass, it's just not totally present. But this thing is amazing on tubes. I'm using the Dark Voice and absolutely love it. I don't have it here, but the i5 Pro I can. It's pulling duties on another review right now, so but I did listen to that in comparison to the SA-1, in comparison to the Dark Voice. So tube amp, super clean amp, and Pro ICANN, which you can tune, and you know, it's a Swiss Army knife of headphone amplifiers. So I've been using this, and I didn't like the match with this. This is just too much of a reference sound, a little bit too much treble. SA-1 gives you a lot of treble, so you just got to be careful, especially with that low Z, high Z switch. The Fiio FT3s are just not a good fit for the SA-1, but this is a rarity. Keep in mind, this is more of a reference sound, and it reacts really well to tubes, but not with the cleanliness of this. Some things can get peaky, not really sibilants, but just get some treble spikes that really just, you know, make you cringe. Next, another dynamic driver, the Audio Ghost. Yeah, I fell in love. This is $129. I've got some Taconi pads on here, some felt or suede pads on here, and for $129, still an amazing deal. Nowhere near the resolution and detail as the FT3s down there that I just talked about, but very lush, very warm sound, very fun. This mixed with the SA-1 is a very good mix, just because these could use a little more detail that you're not going to get out of other amps. You feel like you could be lacking some if you don't have an amplifier that can give you the kind of resolution and detail. These are 125 ohm dynamic drivers, so not the easiest thing to drive in the world, but this thing handled it. You know, you're barely cranking the dial to maybe, you know, a quarter to 3/8, you know, up maybe to 10 o'clock on these, and yeah, so really sounds great. Some of the songs I've been listening to recently, and if you've been watching this channel, you know I like rock, metal. I listen to all genres. I don't genre bash, but lately I've been on the kick of Sleep Token. Album just came out. This actually just had it delivered to me, the CD that is. But I've been listening to streaming, and the Summoning, the songs, like 3 songs in one, and go take a listen. It gets really funky at the end, so yeah, listen all the way through. It's really cool. So that is Sleep Token, the Summoning. Nobody by Avenged Sevenfold, which the single is out. The album's not out yet. Still waiting for it. But I've fallen in love with Nobody. It's this groaning kind of song. It may not be for everyone, I understand. But listening to all these headphones just over and over and over again, you just get the sense and understand the differences. Another one is 46 and 2 by Tool. Just been listening to that over and over. And Schism by Tool. So, one last one is Falling in Reverse, Watch the World Burn. Awesome song. Almost sounds like a rap group at the beginning, even though they're a metal band. Just one of the songs these guys listen to. The verses are not repeated, so chorus is not repeated. Pretty interesting song. Go check it out. Again, Watch the World Burn by Falling in Reverse. All right. So next we got the Gold Planer GL2000. Everyone forgot about these. I still have them. Love them. I love the finish on these things. These things are like tanks. If you can still pick them up, you can find these for $300 to $400. It's an amazing steal. I think the Singxer SA-1 is really tailored for planars. I did enjoy it with the Audio Ghost, but you put a planar to this, you start getting levels of separation that are hard to come by in other amplifiers. So it's so clean that the details come out, especially connected to, you know, the shit Bifrost 264, Denafrips Aries 2, you know, where you get those kind of that good separation and good sound stage, and just mixing it with the cleanliness of this amp really helps out. And no power driving, no trouble driving these at all. Super easy. So yeah. So if you use planars, do not be afraid of the Singxer SA-1. I think it's really good. And it's very neutral, just slightly warmish overall tonality. So tone, timbre, all sounds really good. It's not clinical, it's not dry, so it's good. It's a good reference for planars. The last one is the infamous Heaphone HE6 SE, the monster. So for reference, you can use everyone talks about this. Yeah, I can use the Jotunheim on it at 4.4 watts. I said no. You need enough headroom for the dynamics to make this come alive. Yeah, you're gonna hear something, but you're not getting the full gist of what this headphone can do. The only thing that I found, other than speaker amps and all that kind of stuff, is the iFi iCan, at 14 watts. Man, you could make this thing zoom on like crazy. The slam that you can get from this planar is absolutely amazing, but you have to have the right headphone amplifier. Otherwise, you're just not getting the benefits of this headphone. And keep in mind that when specs are talked about, you have RMS and you have peak. If you look at a VU meter running RMS, you may see something running 3 or 4 watts. And at a test tone, yes, you may be getting, if you test an amplifier, you may be getting 4 watts at 1000 hertz. But if you got big bass slams and dynamics, that 4 watt may be 12 watts. So you just got to be careful when looking at ratings. So running the Heaphone HE6 SE on the Singxer, I had it pegged, absolutely pegged. Didn't get the dynamics out of it. I don't know if this is really 6 watts. Maybe it's 4 to 6. It's just really hard to say with some of these headphones. A lot of the headphones, I would say, the harder to drive, you're in this kind of range here. The FT3 at pretty loud levels. Understand? Sometimes I get excited with my metal, but running the HE6 SE, yeah, we had it maxed out. But I didn't have it. It was not distorted. The beauty is it was super clean all the way to the end. So good job, Singxer. This is their first headphone. They're known for their digital-to-digital devices. So really good job coming out of the boot. Let's talk about some downsides. First of all, the price of this, $600. You can go get a Jotunheim for $400. There's other products in the market. So pricing, I think if they would have hit this at $400, this thing would have flew off the shelf. I think as far as fit and finish, I think the next time go around, they need to get aluminum, anodized silver kind of look. While there's nothing wrong with these, they toggle, they work, they do their job. Just wish they would do some different kind of buttons and layout. I mean, this looks like a THX 789. You know what I mean? Just the overall style, that's 2 to 3 years old. And everything's kind of changed, and aesthetics are becoming more and more prevalent. So when you're paying $600, you're wanting to get something a little bit more. There isn't absolutely nothing wrong with this, but it's time for an update. It's time to get some anodized colors. It's trying to do something really cool and separate themselves out. So if you like this, please hit the buttons, helps out the channel. Please subscribe, and we'll be back with some more content. Thanks, bye.